So you have been a rock star all your life, and I think that's with everyone, right? You are probably among the toppers in your colleges, everything works out fine, and then suddenly you go into a place where everyone else, by the way, is also a topper. So that's the first shock that you get. The first exams will probably not be as good as you think you are, as good as you think it will be.
When I, did sales in J&J is, of course, understanding not just their emotional and product needs, but also their commercial needs. And understanding that whatever product we sell is eventually something which will help patients live healthier lives. No surgery can happen without the product that we sell, right?
J&J entrusts you with responsibilities far beyond your years of experience. Like in the first year, they'll give you some huge project to launch a new product. And we worked on it for 1 year. I think that is my steepest learning curve. 1 year later, the plug was pulled off the product launch. I was 21, 22, put my heart and soul into something. And then suddenly I feel, oh, the company didn't really need this product.
बस जॉब चल रही है यार.
जब जॉब और करियर बस चलता है देन दिस इज हाउ द एंटायर डे लुक्स लाइक. करियर को बस चलाओ नहीं भगाओ भी. लॉग ऑन टू altuni.in. Earn more at your current job or get a new one that does. Learn from experts, work on life industry projects and get high paying job opportunities. Find the link in description.
The first company that we have today who is going to talk to you guys about different things that you're going to face in your lives and the way you can make a mark in that is Johnson and Johnson's. कितने सारे लोगों ने प्यारे प्यारे बच्चे देखे हैं जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन्स के? यार मैं तो सोचता था इतने प्यारे बच्चे आते कहाँ से इनके पास, right? So we are going to figure that out and we are going to figure a lot more from the two speakers that I have today to begin the session with, Saba, Rahman and Vasudha Vijayvergia. If I can ask you guys to come on stage, please give them a big round of applause, guys. What exactly is your field? What do you do at Johnson & Johnson? If you just quickly, introduce yourself to the audiences here.
I am Saba Rahman. I am currently the marketing manager for premium skin health business in India, which basically means that I'm the brand lead for Neutrogena and Aveeno. Johnson & Johnson does have a lot more brands than Johnson's Baby. I joined J&J 10 years later, 10 years back actually. In fact, on 14th May, I completed my 10 years. Since then, I have pretty much been in marketing. I spent 3.5 years as Stay Free brand manager. I had 1.5 years of sales in Delhi as the Delhi ASM.
Superb. We are going to talk about your journey for sure, Saba, in this session. Vasudha, what about you?
Now, I've been with J&J for 11 years, and I was a summer intern with J&J long back. And since then, I have, after my summer internship, I knew this was the company of my choice. And luckily, there was a PPO. And after that, I've done over 11 years, almost equal amount of sales and marketing. Currently, I'm a senior general sales manager. I'm managing West region for Johnson & Johnson medical tech business, which really, I'm not sure all of you know much about it. It's about devices, medical devices, which we sell to hospitals. So that is a major part of Johnson & Johnson's business, and that is what I represent today.
To start with, Saba, you have had a fascinating journey, I assume, from IIM Bangalore, right? What was that like when you actually got to know that you are going to be part of IIM Bangalore? Were you targeting IIM Bangalore to start with?
When IIM Bangalore happened, and you know what, really, it was like the best thing that could have happened to me. So I am born and brought up in Patna. I have done my studies in different smaller cities in Bihar. The first time that I stepped out of Bihar was at the age of 19 when I got into IIMB. So I practically grew up there. I got to know about the world, and that's the thing about IIMB, right? And about any of the campuses that you guys will be going. You learn that it is, very little about teaching. It's a lot of self-learning. You will learn obviously from your professors, and you'll learn from all the amazing sessions that will happen, the speakers who will come. You will also learn from your seniors who will ensure that you know about timeliness and discipline and all of that in the first few months. Most importantly, what worked for me was that I learned a lot from my peers. You know, for someone who had led a very closed life all of these years, suddenly I'm meeting people from all walks of life and very, very different experiences. And I think that's one thing that I'll encourage you to do, especially if you are a fresher, that reach out to people, really listen to them, because the kind of learning that they will give you is unparalleled to anything that you'll learn in classes. And that's what MBA is about, and that's how it is different.
Saba, what was it like? You know, were you meeting a lot of people coming in with a lot of experience and you felt left out, or you thought that I have a clean slate, so I can learn anything I want and I have a, plus point?
First of all, I was very overwhelmed. And I want to tell you that it is okay now. I want to tell you now that it is okay to be overwhelmed. So you have been a rock star all your life. And I think that's with everyone, right? You are probably among the toppers in your colleges. Everything works out fine. And then suddenly you go into a place where everyone else, by the way, is also a topper. So that's the first shock that you get. The first exams will probably not be as good as you think you are, as good as you think it will be. And this is something that I can't speak enough about. I think just ask for help. Tell people that you're struggling, and believe me or not, you'll hear 5 more voices. And it does help, as people say in Three Idiots, right? It does help when your friend is also failing with you.
And then the first thing that comes in a B school, student's life, the big way it hits you that you are in a place which is very competitive is summer internship, right? And I would like to know a little bit about that internship journey from you, Vasudha. What was that like for you? Which B school were you part of? And were you also feeling the heat at that time when the summer internship session come in?
So I was a part of SCMHRD in Pune. And of course, probably not the toppers, all toppers of India were not over there. There were some people who were there for different reasons. But it was fun. It was really nice to be a part of a very, very diverse group in SCMHRD. I think that is something which I greatly appreciate about the institute. So when summer internship came, I think Johnson & Johnson was among the first, or probably the first one which came on campus. And there was a lot of preparation that was going on, and there was, of course, a lot of anticipation that the seniors build in your mind that this is it, like I think from childhood it starts, 10th के exam दे दो, then life is set. फिर हो जाता है 12th के exam दे दो, फिर life is set. Similarly, internship अच्छी कर लो, फिर life is set. So that's how it is, and it just keeps going on your entire life. So so that's how it was. It was the most important thing at that point. Of course, when you join any organization, for that matter, that's when, even though I had WorkX before MBA, and it was a very different industry, but when you do MBA and the kind of projects that they give you, your first work travel, the first stay in a hotel, and then meeting customers and doing a market research, it's a very, very different experience. Whatever we learn in college is great. You should not forget that, and it will be useful. But what you learn in your summer internship, at what, like Saba said, with your peers, your colleagues, I think that is invaluable. So when we join MBA college, it is not just our professional careers which are going to change, but our personal aspirations and our outlook towards life also, which will change. So I think that balance, whether it starts from your day one in college and from your internship, that's your first professional experience, every instance is somewhere shaping you. So yeah, that's all I can say.
But what was your internship journey like? It was in sales itself, right? The internship that you were doing, when you actually got to know that sales entails this, right? This is the amount of hard work, this is the amount of, knowing what to do at a particular point is involved in this. Were you okay with the field per se, or was there any further experiences that you carry with you till now?
So first 1 week, there was no clue what I'm going to do. There was a project objective, and I'm like trying to tell myself again and again, I have to meet gynecologists across the country and talk to them about products and procedures I have no idea about. So it was, of course, like Saba said, overwhelming, and then you wonder whether, you are at the right place or not. But then you get the support system. you get the right guidance, and sure, wherever you are, you will get the right guidance if you seek for it. At the end of 2 months, I had met more than 100 gynecologists across India from tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 towns. So when I reflect back, it's something like you go on day 1, you don't know anything about it, but at the end of 2 months, you're presenting to the MD about what they should be doing. So I think it's a great journey. It's a beautiful exposure. There are times when you're completely lost, and it's not just about summer internship, but a lot of times during your college and life, you may be lost, but eventually a solution comes up, and it's always for the best. So that's what I can say.
When you think about marketing careers, when you think about where you want to land up after your B school, the first thing that comes to your mind is FMCG mein to jana hi hai, right? But was it that for you as well? You also wanted to be part of that FMCG bandwagon. You thought in your mind that I will be, working with these giants in the world. Or when Johnson & Johnson came into your picture, your ideas got altered a bit, and you were drawn towards the healthcare sector that it's in.
Totally right. I have also grown up on those Johnson's baby ads. And very quickly in college, I realized that I really wanted to do marketing. I interned with J&J Medical actually, and I also had to speak to a lot of gynecologists, so same story. But so when I landed at J&J Medical for my internship, I was not so sure that that's what I wanted to do because, FMCG marketing karna hai. 1 week, I had fallen in love with the place. I really wanted to come back, and then I did not get the PPO. So very, very disappointed in myself. And in my finals, J&J Consumer happened to come, and I happened to convert that. So, I always believe in destiny, and you just have to stay the course. So you have to continue working for marketing. That's what I continued doing. And J&J Consumers came, and really it wasn't even, I hadn't even thought about it. Obviously, J&J is offering you have to go. And 10 years later, I'm still here falling in love with the place every time all over again.
So if I had to ask you, say for example, all of us, when we are growing up, we see particular ads and we have an idea about, this is the kind of company that makes this kind of product, and I want to associate myself with this, right? What was that for you? Anything that comes from your childhood where you were growing up, seeing that, acha, ये company में अगर मैं गई तो मैं इसको ऐसे करूँगी?
I would like to tell you 2 things, right? So first of all, 90s kid. So we have all, I think there are not a lot of 90s kid here, but okay. So we have all grown up on jingles, right? So those few ads that we loved watching over and over again. Johnson's Baby, I remember watching this Parda Johnson's Baby ad where the baby's cheeks used to keep going. And I always wondered, okay, not always, but post my graduation, I started wondering that what is it that, what is it that goes behind making these ads? So I was very, very lucky that my first year itself, I got to launch a new product. And it was like a big deal for me, right? And J&J does that a lot. J&J entrusts you with responsibilities far beyond your years of experience. Like in the first year, they'll give you some huge project. So mine was I was working with Stay Free, and mine was to launch a new product. And we worked on it for 1 year. I think that is my steepest learning curve. We figured out the manufacturing, did extensive consumer research. 1 year later, the product, the plug was pulled off the product launch. I remember breaking down in my mentor's cabin because I was 21, 22, put my heart and soul into something, and then suddenly I feel, the company didn't really need this product. But what happened was that, one, you get to know everything that goes behind that 1 30-second ad that you see and how much of hard work it is there. You learned what is the most important. And the most important is consumers, right? And then you also learn, however cliche it might sound, you learn to see the big picture. That your brand and your organization is much more than that one small project that you're doing. And then you learn that sometimes it's important because then we use that resources and did something else. The napkin penetration was still at 35%. So you use those resources to do something bigger and better for the consumer.
When you go out in the market, right, and you come across things that you don't know, right, as a student or as somebody who has just joined an organization, and you come across these stories, right? Has there been any such story that has stayed with you, which came out as a market study, where you've spoken to women because you were working with Stay Free, and you got to know about their journeys, the way they perceive your product? Anything of that sort came out to you?
Oh, I really love these questions, Paul, because, so there's this campaign that we did, I think 2-3 years after I joined, for Stay Free itself. And we did extensive research for it. We traveled to a lot of places, very, very small towns of UP. And what we did there is, so generally, when you do researches, you go and do focus group discussions, etc. So, in a room. What we did was we traveled with these, we stayed with them for a couple of days. We went around with these young girls, I think 13, 14-year-old school-going girls. And then you realize that their life isn't only about school. They do a lot of other things, even the girls from small towns like myself. We do a lot of other things because you know that you have to hustle to go ahead, to move forward in life, right? And during periods, they generally don't want to miss out on those opportunities, but unfortunately, because of not having the right solutions, you have to. And that, that story, so there was this one girl who was talking about how she likes to take karate classes in smaller places. I don't remember the town, but somewhere in UP. And that story became an insight of the campaign that we did. And it was one of our most successful campaigns because that was the first time. And that's what I tell Paul, that marketing, is all about listening to what the consumer has to tell you and telling her the same story. It's essentially, if I have to boil it down, it's that. As long as you're listening really well and you're really giving it, making it all about her, it's that. So the ad came, and you guys can check. It's called Mocha Copy. I think it was in 2015. And it worked very well because that's what we were telling her. So, yeah.
Right. And a lot of these insights are also helpful when you are going on ground and, you're taking up sales, right? What exactly happens if I'm talking about, say, a company like J&J, when you are graduating from a B school? What does a sales role look like, and what has been your experience so far, Vasudha?
So, being in J&J MedTech, I am in B2B sales. I sell to other hospitals who are institutes amongst themselves. So, I think, again, listening to customers is common across any sales and marketing organization. But what is important in B2B and what is important when I, did sales in J&J is, of course, understanding not just their emotional and product needs, but also their commercial needs. And understanding that whatever product we sell is eventually something which will help patients live healthier lives. For example, no surgery can happen without the product that we sell, right? If anybody is even a small surgery like a regular delivery, there would probably be a J&J product that is being used. So the impact that a products create, the sensitivity towards that, and how humbling is that experience, when you go and attend, as a job, we go and attend surgeries. I've seen, heart surgeries, liver transplants, etc., just as a part of my role. So it is humbling. You learn so much. It is a world which you don't understand. There's a lot of respect and a lot of purpose. So I think the first 6 months are all just about understanding that purpose, understanding the larger picture, and understanding the impact that your products can have on the patient and your user. So your consumer in this case is your patient, but the user is a surgeon and the buyer is a hospital administrator. So you have a very complex buying cycle as compared to an impulsive purchase that I want to buy, a Johnson's Baby product, or I want to buy that brand. So over here, there are a lot of rational plus emotional decisions, and the impact is also huge. So I think that we don't realize that while we are in our MBA or anywhere else, but when we go into a B2B or, like I said, healthcare space, and I think the first 6 months are just about understanding the impact that you create, and of course, after that, the entire sales process, understanding consumer, being there, your team, all of that starts kicking in. But I think the perspective is what is most important in a business like ours. There are a lot of unconscious biases that exist in the world today, and they're not just for women in sales, but there are, when you go in India, people will ask you your surname. They'll start, understanding what kind of a person you are just by listening to your surname. That happens with, all males, females, everybody. If you are too heavy, you are judged. If you're too light, you're judged. If you're healthy, you're judged. If you don't drink, you're judged. If you drink, you're judged. So you're judged all the time. And this is also a part of judgment, and that's all that we should consider this to be. It's up to us. If we are, as women, I say that, yes, nobody has obviously upfront come to me and said that you are in sales, why are you doing? But indirectly, people have mentioned things like that. I think, number one, it's, I would give credit to the organization and the peers I work with. I have never felt out of place internally. So, and it's to all the males sitting over here who will join the sales force sometime in future. Make sure that your female colleagues feel welcomed and inclusive and, just as much a part of the team as you are.
You must be thinking another pre-roll? Wait, let me just skip it. With all theory, there are some boring things which you can avoid, like the long wait for promotions or increments, or the numerous interviews before you land your dream job. At All Tuni, we make sure that you're future ready and skilled to be in the top 0.5% club. Click on the link in the description now.